For the second video of section 6.3, we're going to talk about the average value of a function. Now, earlier in the year we did average rate of change of a function, and the way we found that was by taking, if I could do this really quick here, the way we did that was simply by doing the slope of a secant line. Okay, we said that the average value of a function would be of a function from a to b, I should say, would be f of b minus f of a over b minus a. Okay, well now so that was not the average value of a function. I'm sorry, the average rate of change was that. Now the average value of a function is given as this. What I want you to understand is that the average rate of change of a function is the same formula as the average value of a function. Okay, so if I wanted to find the average value of f, what that basically is it's the average rate of change of its antiderivative, which I'll call big F. Okay, if you look at this, how am I going to find the value of this integral? Well, I'm going to find the antiderivative of f, and then I'm going to plug in a and b. Okay, maybe a better way of saying this, just to get the notation right, if I ask for the average rate of change of some function f prime, that would be the same as the average value of f. Maybe that would be an easier way of saying it. So they're not the same thing, but they're related. So the average value of a function is the same as the average rate of change. I did this the wrong way again. Average rate of change, the average value of f prime is the same as the average value of average rate of change of f. Okay, so finding the average rate of change of f is the same thing as finding the average value of its derivative. There I go. Okay, so that's kind of what I explained down here. So now, when I say what do you notice, well, they're the same thing. The average rate of change of big F is the same as the average value of little f. Okay, so going on, use fnn to find the average value of a function on the interval. At what points in the interval does the function assume its average value? Okay, I'm going to talk about this second question in a second, but first let's use fnn to actually find the average value of the function. So here I go. The function is 4 minus x squared from 0 to 3. So the function says, and actually let me go back and write it down before we put it in, the average value of this function, which is called y, not f, is 1 over b minus a, which would be 3 minus 0, times the integral from 0 to 3 of 4 minus x squared dx. So let's find this using fnn. So 1 over 3 minus 0 is 1/3. So I'm going to go and turn off my marker first. Trash that. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go 1 over 3 fnn, which is math number 9, the integral from 0 up to 3 of 4 minus x squared. Since I haven't put it in y1, I can't use y1, dx. And that gives me a value of 1. Okay, so the average value of this function from 0 to 3 would be 1. Now, let's see if that makes sense. Hopefully you know from your extensive work on graphing things in pre-calculus that 4 minus x squared, the graph is a parabola down with vertex up at 4. And so it would come down like this, and it would cross here at 2. Okay, so the average value of the function from 0 to 3 is what I want. Okay, well, you see this, we found the average to be 1. What you're looking for is what's the average y value. Notice some of the y values were above 1, right in this region, some of the values were below 1. But the average value over that interval was exactly 1. So that seems to make sense. 1 is a reasonable answer. Okay, if I would have got an answer like 5, that wouldn't be possible because, heck, it never had a value of 5. Okay, so kind of can make sense that way. Now, at what point in the interval does the function actually assume its average value? So somewhere right here, it's exactly equal to 1. So all I have to do to figure that out is where does 4 minus x squared actually equal 1? Well, that would happen when x squared is 3, so it must happen at the square root of 3. So square root of 3, now obviously I would get plus or minus, but negative radical 3 is not on this interval. So radical 3 is the x value, about 1.7 in other words, is where the value of the function is exactly 1. Okay, notice the value of the function equals the average value. Kind of sounds like mean value theorem, right? Mean value theorem. And this is a mean value theorem for integrals as opposed to a mean value theorem for derivatives. Okay? Okay, find the average value of the function without integrating by appealing to the geometry of the region between the graph and the x-axis. So how is this going to look? Well, from 0 to 2, I want to graph the line 3 minus x. So that's a line with a slope of negative 1 and a y-intercept of 3. So putting 0 in, I get 3, so it's going to go through 0, 3. Putting 2 in, I get 1, so it's going to go through it's going to stop at the point 2, 1. So it's this line here with a slope of negative 1 going from there. It's that line segment. Now, the second part of the graph, get a different color, that's also a line that has a slope of positive 1 from 2 to 3. So if I plug 2 in here, 2 minus 1 is 1. It's going to start at 2, 1, right where this one left off, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So 3, 2. So now it goes back up with a slope of positive 1. So what do we want to know? We want to know what is the average value of this function from 0 to 3. What's the average value? Well, you can see it started at a value of 3, went down to 1, then back up to 2. So somewhere between 1 and 3 is going to be our average value. Now, it says to appeal to the geometry. First, let's set up the average value equation. 1 over 3 minus 0, because it's from a to b, the integral 0 to 3 of the function y with respect to x. The integral, this integral here, is represented by this area right there. So rather than use fn_int or antiderivatives, because these are recognizable geometric shapes, we can simply use area formulas. Now I could split it right here and do 2 trapezoids. Let me get a different color and get 2 trapezoids. Or I could split it straight across here and get a rectangle and 2 triangles. There's different ways to do it. I'm going to use the 2 trapezoids. So first, this trapezoid, 1/2 sum of the bases. So this left base is 3 plus the right base is 1 times the height, which is the distance between the bases, would be 2. Plus, now the area of this trapezoid would be again 1/2 sum of the bases, 1 on the left, 2 on the right, and this time the height, the distance between the bases, is 1. So calculating that, we get 3 and 1 make 4. Half of 4 is 2 times 2, that would be 4, plus 1 plus 2 is 2, and half of 2 is 1. So the value of this integral would be 1/3 times the value of the integral would be 5. So the average value of this function would be 5/3 or 1 2/3, which would be right about there. And that seems to be a reasonable answer for the average value. Let's try another one. Skip this stuff. Find the average value of the function, this time using antiderivatives. So I want to find the average value of f. I'm taking 1 over b minus a times the integral from a to b of 3x squared minus 1 dx. Okay, so this time I've got 1/2, but now we want to find the value of the integral using antiderivatives. So 3x squared's antiderivative, add 1 to the exponent. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so 1x cubed. Minus the antiderivative of 1 is x from 0 to 2. So now I have 1/2 times, plug 2 in, I get 8 minus 2, minus, now plug 0 in, I get 0 minus 0. So 1/2 of 6, and that would have a value of 3. One last problem here, cosine x, average value of f equals 1 over pi minus 0 times the integral from 0 to pi of cosine x dx. What is the antiderivative of cosine? That would be sine. So 1 over pi times the sine of x from 0 to pi. That would equal 1 over pi. The sine of pi is 0 minus the sine of 0 is 0. So 1 over pi times 0, this value is 0. Now hopefully that makes sense. If you would graph cosine from 0 to pi, it would look kind of like this. Starts up at 1, finishes down at -1. The average value is 0. That makes perfect sense. It has symmetry. And that is the end of our study of average value of a function. Good luck with that.